presenting, but we'd like to start with a welcome from our collaborators at Taipei. So, Freya, go ahead when you're ready.
Hi everyone, I'm Freya and welcome to the 2021 City Science Summit. This workshop is hosted by City Science Lab at Guadalajara and the topic is innovation within informality, and it will be a very immersive workshop. Now let's welcome Gerardo from City Science Lab at Guadalajara to lead the session. Hi Gerardo.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for the invitation. Actually, Mayra, who is the lead of our lab, she's gonna open the session, and then I'm gonna do my part. So, thank you very much, Mayra. Please go ahead.
Yes. Well, thank you. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here today, and welcome to the Innovation within Informality workshop. In the lab of Guadalajara, we focus on understanding the dynamics of rapid urbanization. As you know, this is a pattern that is becoming a main trend due to the lack of opportunities and housing policies that could effectively attend the needs of those who lack of resources. Therefore, we are trying to understand what are the problems that are arising from these communities and what issues they face day to day and how they are solving them. So in this workshop, we would like you to provide you a taste of what it's like to live in an informal community, a type of marginalized area of the city that somehow we are not very familiar to, or sometimes we have negative idea of what is happening there. Therefore, we invite you to try to imagine that you live in one of these communities and share with us how would you face these challenges. Well, first of all, I'm going to start with a short presentation of the community we are collaborating to. Moni, if you could help us with the slides, please.
Looks good.
Did you see the images?
Yes, looks good.
Yes.
Okay, great, because I'm not still, okay, yeah, right. Thank you. So we are working with this community. It's called Lomas del Centinela. It is a community of 8,000 people somehow, located in the periphery of the municipality of Zapopan. Next, please. Within the metropolitan area of Guadalajara. The area is designated as a priority attention according to the municipality diagnosis. Next. Well, here we can see some of the different conditions that Lomas del Centinela has according with some of the neighbors. Next one, please. Different topography. It is located next to a very wealthy neighborhood, which is called Las Cañadas, that it has, is in the basement of a river, but it has become a golf club and is in between of two contrasting neighborhoods. On the right side is Las Mesas, which is a very poor neighborhood with some social problems, hunger, malnutrition, violence, and crime. And on the left, it is located Las Cañadas, a wealthy neighborhood. And it is also close to the facilities of the University Cultural Center. Next one. So this community has an informal origin. It was an indigenous communal land, and it has been developed very recently. Its oldest inhabitants are ages between 30 and 50 years old. So Lomas has a physical conditions of a semi-rural space. However, the activity of its inhabitants is connected to the urban environment. Most men work in building industries such as carpentry and masonry, and women as domestic workers. Here we have also some social problems that are arising, like the illegal ownership of the property, teenage pregnancy, domestic violence, organized crime, and perception of insecurity. Of course, there are also some infrastructure problems associated, such as lack of drinkable water and other services. As here, lack of sewage, which also creates pollution. Next one. Lack of public space. There is only the forest and the area in the church that where people could gather, and lack of mobility. There's no pavement, no streets, and no sidewalks. So, and public transportation is very scarce. It doesn't cover the entire community. Next one. However, the population is mostly young. There is a high percentage of children who are becoming teenagers, which constitutes an area of opportunity for implementing actions to allow an adequate orientation to such group of the population through activities of education, art, and thereby preventing them from getting involved in illegal activities. Okay, now I'm going to pass the mic to Gerardo, who is going to guide you to the funny part of this workshop.
Thank you very much, Mayra. Well, hello everyone. As Mayra said, we have been working really close with this community over the last year. We have realized how challenging is life for these people on this community, and we're very surprised from how these people overcome those challenges in a very innovative solutions within informality. So that's the name of this workshop, right? In particular, we are very inspired from the story of three amazing women that we met during this time. So we prepared this workshop in such a way that you will have the opportunity to live a day in a life of this of an inhabitant of Lomas del Centinela, so you can experience some of their challenges, and you will have the opportunity to overcome this challenge, to take decisions to overcome this challenge. So we have prepared a very particular workshop dynamics. So I'm going to explain it next. So basically, what we're going to do is that we will do some kind of role-playing game. In this game, I'm going to tell you a story, and you are going to be an inhabitant of this Lomas del Centinela community. And in some parts, you will be able to take decisions. So I'm going to ask some questions, and you all as all the participants in this video conference have the opportunity to take those decisions by voting. So the choices that you made will change the story outcome. How would you make these choices? Well, if you look at your screen on the WebEx, you will find a small circle with a happy face with a plus sign. If you press there, it will open a menu where you can see different emoticons. We're going to use these three emoticons, basically the thumbs up, the clapping, and this thing for Paris. So I would like you to try it now. Yeah, thank you very much. So basically, what is your favorite food? Just let me know. Some of you like pizza, some others you like burgers. One person like ice cream. Okay, great. So this is how we're gonna vote. And depending on your votes, it is the decision that the inhabitant will make. Okay. So I'm gonna just ask you to please keep your mics closed, because in this exercise we make use of the sound and my voice. So it is very important not to have other sources of sound. Otherwise, we're gonna lose the experience, right? So now I want you, please, to take a deep breath. Keep your mind open. And please try to live the experience. The first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you who you are in this community. So please, let's begin.
Imagine you're a woman in your 20s and it's the early 2000s. You are married and you have a daughter. You are creative, resourceful, and analytic. You're also good at listening to other people's problems and finding opportunities. You care about others, you are brave, and you raise your voice when you see injustice. You rent a small apartment in the city, But you have to share some common areas with the neighbors, and it isn't always easy. So, with your husband, you start thinking about getting your own place. You start asking around, and somebody tells you they're selling properties up in the hill near the place where you live. You contact a person who can sell you a piece of land for $250. Unfortunately, you don't have that kind of money at the moment, but you remember you entered a raffle and the price is precisely $250. So, you pray God and you have faith He will help you. So, the day of the raffle comes and you actually win the prize. You are so happy and thankful because now you have the money to get your property and start building your home. And so you did. As soon as you made the payment, you start going there every Sunday with your husband to work on the construction. First, you start digging to make a water cistern because there is no city infrastructure to bring water to your house. Then, you build one small room and a bathroom and you decide to move in. So there you are, all set up in your new home. It might be simple, but it's enough to cover your basic needs, and most importantly, it's yours. Little by little, you will improve it, and it will be a great place to raise your daughter and grow old.
So there you are in a new community with a home that it might not be your dream house, but yes, it's yours. And you start to know the people around you and the neighborhoods. And then you realize that there are great challenges in that community. There's an important lack of very basic infrastructure services. There is no tap water, there are no sewer systems, only few houses have electricity. The streets have no pavement, therefore it's very hard to walk from your house to any other place. It is also hard for cars and other kind of services that depend on mobility. Not to say that there are no public transportation. And then you're worried that one day your kid gets sick and you cannot bring her on time to the hospital. At the same time, you know that it is not very safe around. There are some bad looking people that everybody knows are getting into illicit activities such as drug dealing, kidnapping, so on. But you are brave, and you believe that with effort, you can overcome these challenges. But then, one day, a bigger challenge appears in your life. Your husband, one day, started to feel sick. And what it started as a small pain very quickly became a terminal disease. In a matter of some weeks, your husband died. Now, you're by yourself with your kids in this new neighborhood. You're very sad. Spent the last weeks crying and thinking about the future. They were people you love supporting you during this time. But later, everybody had to protect their life. And so you should do the same. So you wake up one day. It is morning. It is Sunday. And you hear the bell of the church. It is calling the community to go to the morning service. So you just woke up. You're at your home. What do you want to do now? You can start your morning taking a bath, or you could start preparing breakfast, or maybe you want to wake up the kids. So please decide now. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So the majority of you decided that we should prepare the breakfast. So you go to the kitchen and you start preparing your breakfast. You have some eggs. You want to make some fruit, and then you realize that one of the fruits that you had, it's already rotten. And then something that calls your attention is that this fruit has some small plants that have grown from the seeds. So now you have two decisions. What do you want to do with those seeds? You want to keep them? Or perhaps you want to throw it away? Please decide now. Thank you very much. So the majority of you decided that you wanted to keep the seeds. Then you take the seeds and then you put it on a bag and you put it somewhere in your house. You know, it's there for you for when you need it. And then you talk with your daughter while you're taking breakfast, and she is very excited because tomorrow school starts. So perhaps you should do something about that because they need uniforms. But at the same time, all the dishes are dirty. And you could wash the dishes or go and look up for the uniforms right now. What do you want to do? Please decide now. Thank you very much. So most of you decided that we should go and look up for the uniforms. So you go to the place where you normally have the uniforms, and then you find them, but then you realize that the uniforms are dirty and are not in good conditions. So what do you want to do? Actually, you have no option. So you try to fix the uniform. So you find a nail and you try to fix it, but then you realize that you don't really know what are you doing because you have never taken classes and you don't know how to do this stuff, and you surrender and finally you give up and say, okay, no, I cannot do it. But at least you can wash the uniform, right? So um, you go to the place where you clean your clothes, and then you realize that you have no water in the buckets. You ran out of water. So yeah, now you have to go and get some water. So you go to the cistern, and then you realize that the cistern has no water. How is this possible? You just filled the cistern 4 days ago. You bring a truck with water to fill it, but now you have no water. And then you inspect the cistern, and then you realize that there's a there's a big crack. So all the water escaped from that crack. And there you are in this morning. Things are not going very well. And then suddenly you hear that somebody is calling at the door. So it's your mother with your sister and your niece. They are here because they also hear the bell, and they came at your house because you all together are going to go to the church. So now you're all together, and of course, people when they are together they talk. So now you have the opportunity of talking to them about four things. What do you want to talk about? You can talk about the cistern, about the children uniform being torn. Maybe you want to tell them that you still are sad. Or maybe you want to say about how you find some seeds, the plants. Thank you very much. So most of you decided that we should tell them that we are sad. So you talk about your feelings. You talk to your mother while you're walking to the church. And then you tell your mother that you're very sad, you still haven't overcome the death of your husband, that you don't know really what you should do. You see so many problems in your life right now. You have no water, there's a problem with the uniform. So life is getting really hard, right? So you're feeling lack of motivation. It's a bad time. And then your mother, with all her wisdom, tells you, you know what? Maybe you should find something to do with your spare time, something that gives you energy, something that you like. An activity will be good for you. You should try to learn something. You should try to do something with your time. So you keep going to the church. And while you're going to the church, you pass through a empty empty space where there are a lot of trash. And then something calls your attention. There is a bottle, trash bottle. But there's something inside. You're curious about that bottle. So you examine that bottle. And it's very interesting for you that there is a small plant growing inside the bottle. And it's very nice because you see, life always makes its way. So anyway, you keep going to the church. And then you go to the service and you feel better now because you were with your community. You talk with other mothers, with other people. They tell you about their lives, how things are going. And you're feeling good now. You get a little bit of energy out of your community. And then you start getting a little bit of hope. But then you realize that there are some people that are gathering together near a wall where there are some signs. So you're curious and you approach those signs. And then you realize that they are offering some some courses, some workshops that you can take to learn stuff. So right now there are four options. You can either enroll in a sewing class, or maybe masonry, or maybe urban garden. So you're thinking about these options. And of course, you have your inner voices that are telling you, hey, we should do this, we should do that. Those inner voices are there and are trying to take the decision. So what I would like you to do now is please be those inner voices. Before, I know that you are voting, but before voting, I would like to open the mic to let people share what are your thoughts. Please be those inner voices. So if you want to participate, please just raise your hand or maybe you can just open your mic and start talking. So I hear your inner voices. Please go ahead.
I need to clothe my kids. I need to help keep, you know, clothing, warmth. That would be my voice, my
Thank you,
reaction.
Mark. Excellent. Thank you,
But
Marcus.
but we need water. I mean, like we need to learn how to fix the thing. You know, like masonry could be useful for us. Yeah?
But urban gardening probably, teach you some of those knowledge as well. So I'll learn urban gardening and then I'll feed my kids because feeding is important. And I'll use the food to exchange for sewing and machinery.
Okay, great. Anyone else?
Water for me is really, really important. I need it.
Thank
I
you very
can
It's
much.
a,
say
we
anything
need to
about
fix
that
the
as
system.
well.
Yeah, I think I would choose masonry as well because of besides water, I don't know, power or electricity, and maybe if I want to build a second floor of my house, maybe that's something that I could learn there.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. So, it's not an easy decision because you have so much problems in your life that, this knowledge will help you, but you have to take one decision, at least for now. So now, please, I would like you to take the decision. Thank you very much. So apparently the majority of you believe that the thing that is most useful right now is the masonry. So then you enroll to the course, you start going there, and congratulations. You have learned very basic masonry. So one of the first things that you learn there is how to stick tiles, right? So you put some cement there and you put tiles on walls. And then one day, while you're coming back from the church, something something calls your attention, and you see that there are some tiles there, on the street. Of course, the tiles are broken, but it calls your attention. So you have two options right now. You can either take the tiles, bring it with you, maybe it's useful for something, or you could go back home. What do you want to do? Please decide now. Thank you very much. So all of you think that tiles might be useful, right? Of course, now know how to use tiles, so maybe you can use the tiles to fix your cistern. So that's exactly what you do. You use those broken tiles, and then you put it on your cistern, and congratulations. Now you have fixed the problem with your cistern. So you have to call one of these big trucks that brings water. I'm sorry, I don't know the name in English. In Spanish is pipes, but I don't think it's the same name. So yeah, you bring a truck with water. You fill your tank, your cistern, and you have solved one of the biggest problems that you had. Um, but later on, something happens because you're very happy with what you know now, and you realize that now you can do more stuff. And then one day, um, it comes some help from the government. Oh, um, sorry. something went wrong there. But well, anyway, so you have improved your house, um, and then it comes some help from the government. So now they are giving 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 some material to people, just for free, so you can improve your house by yourself. So you have the opportunity to get material and do two things. Either you can build a room or you can put cement on the floor. What would you like to do? Now you can do it. You know how to do it, and you have the material. Thank you very much. So all of you decided that we should build a room. So you take the material and you build a room. So now you have improved your house. So you're very happy because now you have a new room in your house and everything is going better. And then one day, the sky turns gray and you hear thunderstorm. And then it starts raining and it's a lot of rain. And what happened is that with all those rain, your, your house started to float. Huh, that is bad news because this didn't happen before. And what happened is that with the room that you built, you didn't really plan it well how water will go through because you didn't really have that knowledge. But you know, you figure out how to get rid of the water in that moment, so you kind of control the flood. But still, you have to wait till it finishes the rain. So there you are, looking how the rain is pouring on the patio, and then you think about all that water that comes from the sky and is getting wasted. While at the same time, you had to pay for trucks getting into your house to fill your cistern. And then you think that maybe you could use that water. So that's what you do. You use your knowledge, and then you start doing things to collect water. So now you're collecting water, and you have no more the problem of water outage. So, congratulations. Um, can we go to the next slide? So, congratulations. You have solved your water problems. Of course, there are times where you run out of water, but it's not compared with what happened before. So, at this point is where we finish at least this branch of the story that you decided that we should follow. There are other branches that were possible, but the circumstances bring us to this point. Okay, so we decided to do the masonry, but what if, like this Marvel now, it's people are talking about that. What if we choose something else? So let me know what you would prefer, sewing or urban gardening. Please decide now. Okay, so I think it's urban gardening. So what will happen is that congratulations, now you know how to grow things, right? So now you have that skill. And then you start feeling better because, now you are doing things for you, you learn how things grow, you see your plants grow, and it feels really nice and gives you something to think about apart from your problems. And then one day, um, well, you start growing things at your house, and maybe you even use those plants for foods and things like that, right? And then one day, um, you go to work because you work as a housemaid, um, a house in this wealthy community, and then you're talking with with the lady, the owner of the house, and she tells you, "Oh, you know what? I've been suffering from headaches, and I don't know. Somebody told me about these medicinal plants that can help you." And she's asking you, "Do you know about this plant called ruda? Do you know where I could find one of these plants? Because I have no idea. Do you have any idea?" And then you have three options. You can either be like, "Okay, it's your problem, so you do it." So, you know, um, but maybe you can suggest her to get one, or you can tell her that you will ask around, or you can even go further and say, "Okay, don't worry, I will get you one." What do you want to do? Okay, thank you very much. So all of you decided, or the majority of you decided that we should tell the owner of the house, like, don't worry, I will find a ruda plant for you. So while you're walking towards your home after the work, you suddenly see some coins there in the floor. So of course, 3 pesos. You find 3 pesos, and it's very good. So you pick up the 3 pesos. What do you want to do with those 3 pesos? You can either go to the shop right now, or you can save the money. What do you want to do? Please decide now. Thank you very much. So I think we want to go to the shop. Yes, let's buy something to eat or something, right? But then you go to the shop, and then you realize that they're also selling seeds apart from other things. So, you know, it's a signal. Maybe it's a signal. So you buy the ruta seeds, and then you have the seeds. But now you have to grow those seeds, and you don't really have a place to put the seed. But then, as you are walking towards your house, you find an empty bottle, and then you remember that bottle that once you find towards your uh, while you were going to the church, and then you realize that you could use those empty bottles that are trash. You could use it to grow plants. So you take the bottle, and then you start growing plants in your house using anything that you have in hand. So of course, you take the plant, and then you bring it to the owner of the house, and she gives you 20 pesos in return. So you manage to convert these 3 pesos that you find on the street to 20 pesos. And now you have found a motivation and a way to make money. Because what happened is that the owner is so happy with the plan that she talks to other friends that also want to have plants. So you start selling plants to the people in the wealthy community. So there you are. Now you're feeling better. And then you have something nice to do and some way to get money. So we're again going to stop in this point. Thank you very much, Raquel. Well, we'll still have time, and I would like, if you agree, we can go to the third outcome of the story. So let's do it fast, and then we finish the session. Yes.
Before you go to the last video, could we just quickly see the sewing workshop part? Because
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's do the third pattern, right? Let's just
right.
see the sewing and let's see how it ends up. So if you take the sewing, congratulations, you have learned sewing. So now what you do is that, of course, the first thing that you do is you fix the uniforms, but then you realize that there are more people that have the same problems as you. So uniforms are quite expensive. So you organize people, you organize the moms, and then they all together start to sew first uniforms and then other kind of clothes, because you are a natural born leader, and people follow you, people hear you, and they're very happy because you organize this. So people are so happy with you and what you do for the community that they tell you, you know what, you should be our representative. You should be in charge of doing things for us to as a community to improve. You have that capacity. You should do it. So when the time comes to choose representative, everybody tells you that you should do it. You have two options. You can accept to be the representative, or maybe you want to reject because you don't feel ready. What do you want to do? Okay, thank you very much. So you think that you can actually do something about this, and then you decide that you will take it. So now you become the president of the community. And then you bring the problems to the government, and then you try to ask for things for the community. Maybe they can bring some improvement. Maybe they can bring material for people to build stuff, or you're trying to get things better, but it's not easy because somehow people don't really listen to you. But then you go that often to those places, to the city hall, the government city hall, and then you realize that there are people who actually get stuff. And then you observe and you realize that it is very important how they speak, how they direct to other people. And then you start learning from that. And then you start changing how you talk to people. So you start being more polite. And then you get things for your community. So you achieve to get some services, some help from the government that they give you um, for building houses, like material. Um, you achieve that there's a new public transportation that it doesn't go through the community, but it goes closer. So you made things better for your community. So congratulations. You did something not only for you or your kids, but for the whole community. So pretty much this is the third path. So I don't know if anybody wants to add something. What I'm going to do now is I will present you this woman, the real authors of these stories. So please meet this wonderful, wonderful women.
Ya. Mi nombre es Guillermina Pastor
Mi
Payares.
nombre es Antonia Josefina Alvarado.
Mi nombre es Evangelina Martínez Morán. Cuando me quedé viuda, o sea, no tenía el sustento y dije, ay, ahora tengo que trabajar y a buscar trabajo, y me fui a buscar trabajo cuando soy niña. O sea, yo no sabía hacer nada.
El agua se compraba por pipas. El problema aquí es que mi aljibe estaba quebrado.
Sufrimos mucho, porque les digo que después sí me había arrepentido, porque dije yo bien valiente primero, no, sí, ya hay 2 cuartos, ya tengo el aljibe, vámonos. Pero jamás pensé en la luz, en los alacranes, en las arañas, porque estábamos en el lugar de ellos. Yo siempre le dije a mi marido, ay no, le digo, ay Dios mío, perdónanos, le digo, estamos invadiendo un pedazo de naturaleza, pero pues ocupamos un terreno, una casa para poder vivir.
Siempre en tiempo de lluvias yo nunca batallaba, aunque no tuviéramos agua, no tenía aljibe, yo agarraba de mi bajante, siempre he agarrado de ahí, en tambos. Sí, que como te digo, sí se me hacía café por el mojo del bote porque no estaba pintado, así la aprovechaba, yo no tiraba y no desperdiciaba el agua, que lo arreglé de abajo. Ahora hay que ponerle arribita para que se va por las orillas, no se va por abajo.
Yo le dije, oiga, mami, yo quiero enseñarme a coser porque un día que mi marido no tenga, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Ah, sí, mija, dijo, si quieres enseñarte, mira, te enseño a pegar cierres, a hacer bastillas y es más, te regalo mi máquina. Y pues estoy bien contenta de que nuestra colonia pues ha ido cambiando, a pesar de tener muchas carencias, como les decimos. Bendito sea Dios, cuando fui presidenta me siento bien contenta que con la secundaria, la primaria y el kinder logramos hacer las banquetas y logramos que nos pusieran el pavimento hidráulico, que es desde la calle Jacarandas hasta las 5 esquinas. Cuando pusimos la asociación, me acuerdo que varias señoras se fueron y nos preguntaron y dijeron que qué les íbamos a dar. Y les dice, yo no te voy a dar nada, pero si tú quieres, tú puedes lograr todo lo que tú quieras. Dice, yo aquí voy a dar clases de arte, de música, de huertos. Dijo, entonces yo te cambio eso. Yo te doy las clases y tú quedas a cambio.
Nunca yo había ido al huerto y cuando Eva me invitó, yo no tenía nada que hacer en mi casa, estaba desesperada y nomás viendo televisión. Un día yo iba al huerto y me encontré 3 pesos y empecé a pensar, ¿qué voy a hacer con esos 3 pesos? O sea, ¿por qué me los hallé? Y de ahí le dije a Eva, vamos a invertir este dinero. Dicen, ¿en qué? Le digo, pues en plantas. Son 3 pesos, pero 3 pesos que tú puedes ganarle otros 3. La inquietud de sembrar. Ahora voy a sembrar cebollas. Y cuando ya estén grandes me las llevo al huerto. Ahora voy a sembrar betabeles. He sembrado en mi casa betabeles. Y ya siembro mis betabeles. Y yo soy la que digo, yo no sé qué me pasa, o sea, ¿por qué me gustó esa actividad? Pero más me gusta ver el crecimiento, o sea, el respeto por las plantitas, cómo se desarrollan. Voy y las veo que ya crecieron, voy que ya está la cebolla creciendo más.
Intentar que pues háganlo de una manera si les funciona, si no, pues inténtenlo de otra manera y para que vayan aprendiendo.
Y siempre me he sentido como una persona que te gusta ayudar sin recibir nada a cambio. Yo ahorita a mí te digo, me da mucha alegría y emoción porque a mis 54 años pude terminar mi preparatoria. Me siento que dicen que cuando tú te expones a algo y puedes lograr todo lo que quieras. Ahorita me interesa mucho aprender inglés porque cuando hemos tenido las pláticas me quedo con la cara de ¿what? ¿Qué dijeron? Nuestra fortaleza, habernos venido al cerro sabiendo que no había servicios, que no había esto. Siento que fuimos unas mujeres bien valientes, pues sí, gente que no nos conoce o que no, y que yo tuviera que platicar. Primeramente, pues diría eso, que todo lo que puedes está en tu mente y no es mucho de dinero. Puedes tú hacer las cosas y que yo sí quiero pues ver mi colonia, aunque ya tenga bastón. Me dice, no, y Barbie, nunca vas a lograr lo que... No, sí le digo, sí lo voy a lograr y así ya tenga, si Dios me deja llegar 80 años, voy a ir con mi bastón caminando nuestras calles con banqueta y con servicios.
Cuando se sientan así apagados, tienen que echarle ganas y decir, no, yo tengo que salir, tengo que ser fuerte, porque en veces de repente nos caemos o nos sentimos que no podemos, pero yo pienso que siempre debemos de tener esa fortaleza oculta para salir, para decir, no, yo puedo, yo voy a salir adelante y yo puedo. Así es de que echen las ganas.
Yo pienso que nada es fácil en esta vida. Tienes que esforzarte un poquito. Y aunque le batalla a uno, pero yo pienso que si tuvieras todo aquí, ¿qué ibas a hacer?
Siempre sonríe. Con una sonrisa ganas mucho y lo mejor no cuesta nada. Bravo.
Pues me da gusto verlos conocido y pues gracias por que les interesan pues nuestras historias.
Three ladies. Yeah, it's very hard to say something after these remarkable words from Eva, from these people. We have here Angel in the workshop. Angel works very close with the community as well. He is a member of the NGO that is working with us, Círculo de Amigos, which Eva is part of this association as well. As she mentioned it, she was the president of the neighborhood, and afterwards he founded this organization to work with children, to help people, to try to prevent children get into the crime activities. And Angel, I would like to hear your impressions about the workshop because you didn't have the opportunity to participate in the rehearsals and see the material. What do you think? And express something to the
Well,
audience.
yeah, thank you very much. I'm really, really impressed with this presentation. I'm just trying to say I met these girls 3 years ago, and I never realized this this uh, this reality. And I think this presentation shows what's one part of their lives, and and I'm really proud. Really, I mean to work with these girls, and because the life sometimes is just we just realize when we talk about happiness, we think in different things. But let me show a thing. Yesterday they sent me this picture. There is a corn gap that they grow in the garden. Yeah, so they're happy with this. So I think if you, I mean, thank you all of you to can I mean to help to show these lives, because sometimes they don't need more than just show their lives and to get involved in a kind of society. Yeah, there's three girls who represents I don't know how many lives. And thank you for all your effort that you show everything about this part of the life of the world, and improve the I think to the conscious, to the people be conscious about the poverty and wealthy. Yeah, but I think Eva says smile is free. And thank you very much for that.
Thank you, Angel. Yeah, just a last comment before we say goodbye. We are working in this community implementing these workshops, this type of workshops that we show you at the end or almost the end of the storytelling, because this is something that is not very common to happen in these communities. What is the what actually occurs is that they have to manage to themselves learn and self-build and self-arrange or their problems. Sometimes there are, of course, NGOs that are very proactive working with some communities, but it's not the case of many people. So the university is trying to collaborate with them, and actually we are adding the knowledge of the professionals and the specialists to the knowledge that the community already have, because they have learned a lot with their experience. As you see, these innovative ways to solve their problems. But we think that if we provide a little help to improve their capacities, they can really do a lot. They can really be self-sustainable, solve the things with a very little resources. So if you would like to work with us, we will be happy to that you join us, because we always need more hands. So please, just we would like to hear you and work with you. We're actually starting a collaboration with the lab of Hamburg very soon. We already work with the lab of Boston, the Luis Alonso and all the team from Boston. They are working very close to us. So thank you for that help as well. And yeah, I would like to thank you all your participation. I don't know if there's another last comment from you before we say goodbye.
Hi. Now there are some interesting comments in the chat.
I'm also just exploring the the project a little bit further, and I think definitely it's in the plans. As Monica was mentioning, it was really hard for us to cut the video because there are really so many interesting stories that we would have liked to share with you, and definitely it's in the plans to expand it to another more extended version where you can see the innovation, the practical things that they have done. There are so many things that couldn't be shown here. How they modify the pipelines to save water, how they manage to heat water without gas or electricity. It's really interesting to see all those inventions they have done. So definitely, as Maida mentioned, everybody's more than welcome to collaborate and in this beautiful project. Well, thank you for being here. Thank you to the Guadalajara team for all the effort. We hope that in the near future you continue reflecting, learning, and getting some other ideas regarding on how we can help to improve the living conditions of many people in the world who are in these similar situations. And thank you so much to Eva, Guille, and Tonya for making this happen. And well, see you next year. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.